All right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a very special session of our bootcamp. We started few weeks earlier. I believe this is the ending one. We try to educate with you the admission system, application system, different admission type, application type. We brought few university reps. We brought a student to talk. So I believe this is a beautiful way to end the session today, where we are bringing a current student, Sotirtho Saha Protya, very dear student of ours. আপনাদের সবার খুবই প্রিয় একজন মুখ, উনিও নটরডেমের স্টুডেন্ট এবং the best thing is he's going to United States this spring. He got admission for this fall, but for some reason he decided to join for next spring, and he has a great experience of applying to the institution in many institution. So we couldn't have anyone better than him in this session to run through the whole application system, admission system, everything. So Protya, we are so happy to have you in the session. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's hear from
Thanks a
you.
lot. Thanks a lot to Edvive and Education USA for arranging such a great sessions and bootcamps for everyone. For the last few couple of months, after finishing my full application process and getting admitted in the universities and etc., I also started working with this abroad education, with my pages, with my own profiles and everything. I just try to make people learn about the full process, as it's a holistic process and it's a really long run for everyone, and everyone just don't know the full process one by one. And because of that, if sometimes someone just lag behind and he cannot finish his application and is still having the potential to study in US or in abroad, he can't, or he or she can't make it done. So thinking about that, I started working on education abroad or etc. And it's a great pleasure for me to be here with Education USA and Edvive in this bootcamp talking about US admissions for undergrad preps. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Great introduction. So actually, me and Protya were having a conversation on he applied through Common App. So that is our first topic actually. So যেটা হলো মেইন বিষয় যে আহ, আমরা অনেকগুলো উপায়ে সাধারণত অ্যাপ্লাই করে থাকি, and it's very important from the very beginning that you know the deadline, application deadline, and always try to beat that deadline, right? It always creates a good reputation if you beat the deadline, apply earlier at the earlier stages, so that they understand that you are serious about this whole application process. So there are a few different ways you can apply, like early action, early decision, rolling admission, rolling decision, right? So the fact that earlier we brought two institutions, University of East Carolina and Appalachian University, where they also talked about those admission processes. But the main difference between all of those things, that having an earlier application deadline, right? So early decision, like the most important and the most earlier one perhaps, is the early decision, where you need to choose one institution and go ahead with applying into that institution, and it's a binding thing. So if you get admitted in that institution, means you should, by respect, you should go to that institution only if your financial packages match. So that's the early decision thing. It will be very early at the application period, and they will let you know very quickly, so it won't hamper your other application processes, right? And then early actions are, you can apply in multiple institution, no binding. uh, and the rolling admission is, it goes throughout the year, but we've been saying again and again, it takes at least 3 to 4 months to go through the visa process. So even though the rolling admission is there, you cannot think that you can apply after April. We say try to apply within March. So that is the overall, but I believe we'll have first-hand experience from Protya. Protya, how did you manage all these things, and which are the ways you applied?
Okay, So great. So first of all, if I talk about the differences, maybe I should talk about the differences of EA, REA, ED, or RD, as sometimes the preps or the students sometimes don't get it all the way or same things or something. So let me just clear it out. So EA is an thing that is early action. So early action is not a binding thing. You will just apply just earlier. This earlier can be within November, and this can be the highest deadline for EA. And if you apply for EA, it will not be a like any kinds of dedicated thing or something, but it shows your interest, higher interest. Then it's the EA process. After that, there is a process called REA, that is a restricted early action. The system restricted early action is, you can just if you apply for a restricted early action, you can make only in one private university and don't do that in another's. So yeah, that's for the restricted early action. Regarding ED, it's a very important one for most of the applicants, as the applications rate are growing day by day. So we have to show as much as interest we can. And for showing that much interest, obviously ED is a good thing, because ED or early decision shows that if you got the enough financial package that will go with you, then you will surely be admitted in that university. You can't ditch but by any way. So yeah, that is ED. And ED and EA deadlines are near about same. That's November last to December first week sometimes. And after that, there is the process RD, that is regular decision. For regular decision, there in Ivy Leagues and etc., that is near about no, December 31 to January 3. It can be the highest for Ivy Leagues and the top notch universities, but sometimes it's also for January 15. It's the highest deadline for any kinds of RD or regular decision. Beside that, there is another system that's called rolling admission, and for rolling admissions or these kinds of things, you just have to apply whenever you want. But the thing already, Mushfiq has said that you should not exceed April, not also April, maybe March final or March last week can be the highest one. As if you apply March last week or April first week, you'll get your results in May. Then after getting your results in May, you have to pay, you have to make your decisions, then apply for the visa, then apply for the visa slots. It's a huge process of 2 to 3 months, and you have to fly within August to join fall. So yeah, this is the all differences about these kinds of rolling admissions and EDRD. So in my scenario, I applied in most of the universities in RD times, as I tried to focus on fully prepared admission files or everything. Like sometimes students just think that I have to do a ED, so with a half-assed process, I will just apply for a ED. But it's not a good thing. If your full admission things are okay with you, then just go for an ED or don't. So I just tried to figure out everything and then applied for RD in most of the universities, but still I applied for ED1 and ED2. I got conditional acceptance in both ED1 and ED2, but the packages are not fulfilled, so I had the option to ditch those ED universities. So yeah, this is the scenario of mine, and also EDRD and rolling admissions.
Very, very helpful. Now, the interesting thing, you mentioned that you applied through Common App, right? Mostly Common App. So I believe Common App has those application elements binded to them, right? Through Common App, you can apply for each of, or exclusively or non-exclusive for that admission. So I believe you applied in many institutions. So I would like to know how many institutions you applied and what was your experience through applying in Common App. I believe this is one of the major area where students get confused after the beside the CSS profile. That's another area we get thousands of questions
Right.
from the students. Uh, and even I get confused by that matter. So I just wanted to know, Protya, how did you apply? How did you approach? Um, what was your research process for Common App? And I believe you got some application fee waiver too. So it would be very kind of you to mention how did you approach the Common App thing, because I think it's very important that students should know it from the earlier stage. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Sure. So if I tell about the full Common App process or something, yeah, I applied to all 20 universities of Common App, and beside Common App, I applied to one or two universities from their application portal. So yeah, I applied to 21 to 22 universities successfully. So if I tell about the full Common App process or something, it's really a long run, and you have to go highly and fully prepared before finishing your Common App and etc. And applying with Common App is at least a little bit easier than applying from all universities own portal. If you try to just fill out like 20 universities own portals, then it will be like go to their portal, fill that up, then second portal, fill the same question, third portal, same questions, and it goes on for 20 and more. But if any applicants use Common App, then the system will be just Common App equals to common application. So what you have to do is just fill out a common application forms and then some dedicated answers for all the universities respectively. Then what will happen that the common question sets will be single time, and once you fill up the common questions, that will be good to go for you. You don't need to fill up those in any time in the near future. So yeah, that's the best thing about Common App. But there is another great thing about Common App, that is the Common App fee waiver. Because as I believe, I am from a middle class family, and most of the Bangladeshi applicants I respect from any kind of financial background. So the full application fees is not like 10,000 or 20,000. If I just calculate the cost of applying in 20 universities, it nears 2 lakh BDT, more than 2 lakh BDT, because for a single university is it costs $100 or more than that. So 100 or $150. Then if I just multiply by 20, it's near about $30,000. Sorry, $3,500 or more than that. So what I did is I just applied with Common App. In Common App, there is a portal showing your financial status. So in that portal or in that part, I show that my financial conditions or my incomes are not that much that I can apply to 20 universities giving the full application fees. And I just write down or click down those options, and after that I just click that my counselor will give a like recommendation or final go that yeah, his financial condition is not that good. After that, my counselor, Sir Vincent Tita Shorjario sir from Notre Dame College, he just tick marked or clicked an option in his application portal or a counselor's portal that my financial conditions are not that much good, and just by clicking that I got a application fee waiver from 19 universities of those 20 universities from Common App. And there was only one left over, that was University of Texas Dallas, UTD. I got admitted in that also, and but I also got a way to get a fee waiver, and that is they have a own seminar. If you take part in that seminar, there will be a reward for you, and that reward is they will just waive your $50 from their application fees. So yeah, by this I got full application fee waiver from the Common Apps, and maybe this will be helpful for most of the applicants who are just thinking about those 2 lakh or 3 lakh BDT for the application process. This fever will help them a lot.
Absolutely, Protya, thank you so much. I mean, so I believe the teacher you mentioned, whom I'm feeling sorry for, because he'll be facing a lot of students in coming days. I'm sure a lot of students will be knocking him for the fee waiver now. So he's a class teacher or school counselor, because we believe that there are many schools that do not have a designated school counselor. Especially we see this is happening with the Bangla medium schools and colleges. So
Okay, so in
I
my scenario,
believe in that case students can
yep.
select a school teacher, I believe, and give them as a school, nominate them as a counselor, right, Bhaiya?
Yeah, in my scenario, and not only in my scenario, in the scenario of maybe 99.9% Bangla medium colleges, as if I try to say that most of the people in Bangladesh thinks that Notre Dame College is one of the most popular or most dedicated colleges for boys in Bangladesh, and they always try to send their students at the high peak of any type of education. That can be in Bangladesh, that can be Buet or Dhaka University or Dhaka Medical, or it also for the higher education same. But is still, yeah, in my college, Notre Dame College, we don't have any designated academic counselor or any kinds of admissions counselor in our college. So what we did is we just nominate one of our college teachers who have their counselors portal created uh, maybe 2, 3, or 5, 10 years ago, or sometimes the teachers have created their counselors profile newly for helping our students. So they are the college teachers or professors are just creating their profiles in counselors profile, and using that they are just helping us to apply being a counselor or being a recommender. So yeah, our school teachers or college teachers are helping a lot in this case, not being a designated counselor.
So the students who are in class 11 or 10 and listening to this session and will be listening to session, a very important tip: select one or two teachers who will help you in your admission time with recommendation letter, with these applications, and try to build up a network with them, maintain a repo with them, show your seriousness, because these things really help, and these are very important. So see how Protya approached the whole thing, and how he saved so much of money, which is very important. And like he rightly mentioned that most of us come from a middle class background, and it is very helpful for our parents if we can save up that amount, and which is possible, right? The option is there, why shouldn't you take it? That's the most
Yeah,
important thing.
obviously.
So I believe the next, since we were talking about recommendation letter and picking a recommendee, so I how did you manage to do that, Protya? How did you deal with that?
Okay, so yeah, my recommenders, I had peer my recommenders from my college, and they were, maybe I should not mention their name, as they or I can mention, as they already also works with Education USA, like Biplop sir. He is a great person. He always tries to help everyone regarding Education USA or abroad education. And Biplop sir is one of my very close chemistry teacher. So I just talked with him. Yeah, you said a great thing in that we should maintain a good repo or good connections with our teachers. Like for the past couple of months, I every day I get messages from my juniors from class 11s. They said that, Bhaiya, we are not getting like in-person classes, so we are unable to build any kinds of relations with our teacher. So what can I do? But the situation is also, while we are in colleges, we just got our teachers for 7 to 8 months, and then these lockdowns and COVID, all things started. Secondly, in those 7 or 8 months, there was two Eids, one puja, and there was also maybe near about 1 to 2 months. So we barely got 6 to 7 months with our teachers. So, but still, after our colleges or in during the full pandemic situation, I at least tried to get connected with or keep my connection with all my teachers from every department. I can say that if any student from my batch or my junior batch or my senior batch goes to the college or and check out any of my subject teachers or from any department, at least they will found two or three teachers with whom I have a close connection. So building up a connection is a really very important self development skill, that you have to build your connection with the teachers who will give you recommendations. So yeah, Biplab sir gave me a recommendation. Beside that, there is my language teacher Shubhashish sir. He is basically my English teacher. He also gave me a recommendation. So these are the basically the recommendations from my college side. Beside that, I also had some peer recommendations, and peer recommendations are not generally from your colleges or schools. These recommendations can be come from your classmate, can be come from your class tutor or home tutor, can be your mentor, your mentee, or like your coach of any national Olympiad, international Olympiad, anything. This can be the peer recommendation. So I had a few, though I didn't submitted those as no universities of mine wanted any peer recommendation, but still there are some universities like in Bangladesh, there is a craze about Ivy League that I have to apply in Ivy League. Like still they don't think about the full profile, about the reality check. Like as I am here being a student, talking about the reality check is really important. So if I talk about the reality check is in 8 Ivy League, if we just like plus the applications of Bangladeshis, if it's more than 2000 to 3000. But if we just calculate the last year's application acceptance from Bangladesh of Bangladeshis, not American citizens or PR, only Bangladeshis, only three. There are only three who got into Ivy Leagues. One of them got into two Ivy Leagues, maybe, yeah, Princeton and Brown. One got in Yale, and yeah, one got in UPenn. These are all. Not no one else got from being Bangladeshi, and all of them has really high profile. Like they are international medalists. They are connected with high works and etc. But still, as Bangladeshis have a craze, so I am adding the advice, as peer recommendations are needed for most of the Ivy Leagues or sometimes for two or three top-notch universities. So for that, also try to connect with someone who can give you a peer recommendations, that can be your classmate, your home tutor, or your team coach, your mentor, anyone. So yeah, they can be all about recommendation letters.
This is great, and I really love the insight on Ivy League. I mean, I know that it is a dream. That's why we always ask the students to include one or two dream institution in their perfect university list, where they will have dream, reach, and safety school. But that's why they are called dream, right? That they are difficult to achieve. But
But
let's be realistic, and yeah,
yeah, like yeah, but be realistic. Like yeah, applying to one or two dream school is really needed. Yeah, because you have to check your luck, also your dream and everything. But the reality check is, last year I saw some applicants who applied in 8 Ivy Leagues from Common App. Then he applied in MIT, then Duke Conscience, and using this, then Caltech and Ivy Leagues and some universities like Ivy League. And all of these are more than dream universities. They apply to all. So is the reality check that never do these kinds of things.
no, absolutely not. That will leave you in such damsel position, let me tell you. So that's why it's very important. And another thing is, millions and millions international students go to United States to study every year, and only like 0.0000001% will go to Ivy League. What does it mean? Others are not happy with their choices. Others are not doing well in their lives. Absolutely not, right? It's the other way around. So yes, it's good that you're selecting Ivy Leagues as one of your options, but never think that only Ivy Leagues will give you an opportunity and others won't. There are so many hidden
Right.
gems, so many beautiful, wonderful public institution, even amazing community colleges I have visited, that I've seen how wonderful and equipped they are with their facilities and study options and everything. So so please mix up your university list, right? So it was very important insight from Protya. Next is we wanted to touch base on the test optional thing, as it has been a burning option for last 1.5 year. By test
Right.
optional, we are saying only the aptitude test. Guys, a very clear message. Even if any institution tell you that they are giving you language proficiency test waiver, do not buy it. Do not go for it. None of the institution in the US will allow you to go there and start directly if you do not have a language proficiency test or a language course from their institution. So you might be very happy to learn that there is no need of IELTS or TOEFL. Then you go there and you'll find out that you have to do a course, English course, which will cost you like 4 to 5 lakhs with living cost and everything. And to be honest, when you go without a language proficiency to face the visa interview and you cannot speak in proper English, it will be always questionable. It will always be the consulars will be doubt that how you'll go and survive there. When if you have a good score and yet none of us are native speaker of English, so if you have the language proficiency test, you are struggling to talk, they would understand that you might be better in the other areas, might be nervous, that's why you cannot speak, but language proficiency is must. For the SAT or ACT optional, yes, it's an option. However, don't jump high on the ACT optional test. Because
Okay. If I'm not wrong, maybe we just missed our connection with Mushfiq here. Let me just know so that I can continue, isn't it? Or should I? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as Mushfiq is facing some problems regarding his internet or etc. So let me just tell something about the test optional process. So if I tell about the test optional process, also about my own scenario or situation, that will help you to understand the full process. So actually, last year in fall 2021 or fall 21, we call in short, the set optional was legit, as there was no, like literally no set available. Is still before maybe October 3rd set, right? So we didn't had enough space in like any time before October 3. So yeah, there is back. So I was just telling about this.
that's
Let me
wonderful.
just,
I'm sorry for the technology glitch. So
yeah.
I was just gonna ask that if you do, like I was gonna say that if you do not have SAT or ACT, that's fine, but you need to make sure that your application package is strong enough to fetch some scholarship, and it's up to you how you prepare to do that, like online training, ECA, whatever it is to take your application package higher. That you should do. But I would like to hear it from Protya that how did he approach the whole test optional thing. Over to you. Thank you,
Right.
Bhaiya.
Yeah. So what I was saying that, yeah, because the whole set optional process was really right for at least for fall 21, because in fall 21 that year we applied, there was no set before October 3 in Bangladesh. So all the set was cancelled before that. So the only set was available for us was October 3, and that was really jam packed. We did, most of us didn't able to like register for the SAT for the Greendale Center or the Chittagong Center or anywhere. So yeah, that was a problem. Also, I was COVID positive in that time, so I couldn't apply for SAT. So I gone through the SAT optional process, and it was really legit for most of the applicants last year, because most of them couldn't got the all. There was only one test that was October 3rd. After that, there was December set, but before December set, we had to apply for ED or EA. So the only available option was October 3, and most of us didn't got enough space there. So the set optional was really legit for last year, and using that, we had to make our profile better in other ways, like in ECAs or in profiles, in everything. We had to make that profile strong. But for this year, I will say that if you have the opportunity to give the SAT or SAT, anyone, try to give, because this year it will not be 100% legitimate. Why? Because only one SAT was cancelled in May. Af- that's also only in Dhaka. The Chittagong was okay. There was the Chittagong SAT. Only the SAT was cancelled in Dhaka in May. After that, we have sat in this August, then September, October, then December. So yeah, this year we have enough sets. So if just you think that as we have the option of set optional, so just now just strike through the process of set. We don't need to give the set. Don't think of that. If you have the ability to give the set at this moment in August, in October, that will be really good for you or your profile, as there will be huge clash of students of profiles, and if you have the set, that will be a boost up for you. But yeah, if there is really some process where you are unable to give the set, that's 100% okay. Don't think of that. But if you don't have the stat in your plate, then try to make enough ECS, try to make a good essay, try to make everything better, because as you don't need to give your time for sat, you have that time on your plate. So use that time not to just serving your phone, but to make a good essay, good supplements, everything good, so that that can take the place of sat optional. That can be my insights of sat optional.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I keep saying the same thing to the students that yes, it is test optional. But imagine you were in an application pool. There are 20 students. 15 of them somehow managed to sit for SAT, and then you're not there with SAT. Yes, it's gonna be absolutely fine if you have a lot of ECS, online training, MOOC, this and that. But what if the same students who sat for ACT have this sort of profile? What would happen then? So we'd love to think you just twice or thrice before deciding on SAT optional thing, right? So like Protya,
Obviously.
you were mentioning about the ECA thing, extracurricular activities. uh, I mean, all of you who are listening to us, you need to understand that US schools love ECF. They love students with different activities. I still remember in my first visit to USA, I went for a training, and they took me to a college in California University, and it was the first day of the class starting, and there were benches and booths all over the campus, and students are encouraging the new students to sign up for their clubs, right? Like we see in the US movies. And I was
Right.
fascinated to see that how many clubs can be in an institution. Learn Japanese, love Chinese, zombie classes, what you can think and what you cannot think of. So it shows that the love, they want you to involve with many things, and same, they want to see that beside your study, what you've been doing, what you're passionate about, and be it small, from gardening to a big to Olympiad, whatever you have done, please mention that. I would love to hear it from you, Protya, about the ECA thing.
Okay, great. So yeah, ECA is a really important thing to discuss, as most of the students in Bangladesh, they have some really don't have the right insights about ECA. Okay, so what they think is ECA equals to certificate, medals, or honors, but it's absolutely not correct. Never is the correct approach, because when filling up your common app for extracurricular activities, you have a part of activities where you can just say about your 10 activities, but then activities are never judged with any kind of certificates or medals. Like that you have a class, okay, so you are just running a class or a batch class, anything, being a tutor from your early age, okay, or being a teacher assistant in your college, okay. So what will be the certificate? The students will write a certificate or letter for you, giving that yeah, he is a good teacher. It can be a certificate, right? Or you are just a good gardener, you have a great garden or something. So what will be the certificate? What will be the medal? That you have a like brinjal or any type of, you have a potato and that will be your certificate? No. So actually activities are a total different thing. You have to think about that. Being a chess player, you don't need to be a master or chess master or FIDE master or international master. No, you can be a chess player. Being a tennis player, you don't be have to be the Olympic winner. You can be a tennis player. Then you can be a tabla player. You can be a any kinds of instrument player. Anything. You can be a gardener. You can be a like dancer, singer. You don't have to be a winner of Bangladeshi Idol or something or Bangladesh Got Talent. No, it never judge with these activities with your honors. So then, isn't there any importance of honor? Yeah, there is importance of honors, but that's in a different sector. The honors and the certificates honor, these are listed in a different way in common app, that's in the honors side. But for ECS, you have to think that how much work you are doing beside your classroom, beside your class activities. That can be club activities, that can be your startup, that can be your own organization, that can be a volunteer in an organization, that can be a blood donation, anything beside your class activities. So if I talk about club life, club activities are very common in Notre Dame colleges. We have maybe 23 to 26 clubs, but it's not common all over Bangladesh, right? Most of the colleges in Bangladesh don't have one single club. So what you can do now? You can make your ECS in different way. Take part in Olympiads. Like which Olympiads you have to. Just think of which subject you are good. Which subject gives you that passion to participate. Don't just participate to make a ECA. Make that ECA that makes you in that makes that subject interested for you. Secondly, you can take part in debate if you love to debate. You can take part in local organizations, in non-government organizations, being a volunteer, being a campus ambassador, or being a intern. You can work as an intern, paid intern or non-paid intern in any sort of companies or organization. So yeah, this can be your activities. You can learn how to play a guitar or how to play a ukulele. You can play chess or cricket. So all of this can be your activities or ECS, extracurricular activities. So now if I talk about your honors, try to put some basic or good honors that will push your application, right? Like in my turn, I had nominations in some international levels programs. Like last year not in 2019 I was nominated for Global Teen Leaders Award from USA. So I just put that thing in my ECS sector. Then I was one of the TST or team selection test members of International Art Science Olympiad. I was camper of different international. Okay, so where say something about Ulysses? Yeah, I am saying. So first of all, as I am saying about honors, so yeah, then I was campers of different international camps or international Olympiads, international conferences. So that was in my ECS. Then I have my own startup that own government prize. Okay, national awards. So I enlisted that. So that can be their honor. But if I talk about ECA, I write about my Olympiad journey as an activity. I wrote about that I am a chess player, about my activities. I am a tabla player, so I wrote that about my activities. Then I am a robot enthusiast. I make robots, so I wrote about that. I am a good programmer, so I wrote about that. I am an app developer and website developer, so I wrote about that. So these can be your activities, but this never wants any certificates from you. As certificates and honors and ECS, these are different and you have to differentiate it. Okay, so yeah, this can be the insights about at least my opinion about extracurricular activities. That think of your extracurricular activities wisely, that which you have to say and which you don't. But never just think that I don't have any ECA, so I have to make ECA or something. So yeah, these are my insights. Maybe we have a question. Should we answer that now or
Yes,
later?
please. Let me tell him my the first part. He
Yeah.
asked, Shota, thank you for your question. You asked about what is the cost of education USA. What is the cost of education in USA? So it will differ from institution to institution, state to state, and then how much scholarships you are getting. So it can start from 15,000 USD per year to 70,000 USD per year in between. So it's a huge range. The more research you do, the more clearer you will be about these things. And how many universities in the USA gives full ride, full need, very low, and the number is even getting lower. So please do not target that. I would ask should Protya later to talk about it more. Is the number, yeah? Should we just apply those if you have financial problem? Um, let's 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 clear one thing first. If you really think that you are in pressure of financial constraint, uh, there can be other options, right? Yes, you can always consider US or any other countries. However, you need to remember that undergrad scholarships are very rare and these are very competitive. Any country, uh, be it USA or Australia or United Kingdom or Malaysia, even for that, right? So never rely on full funding, full scholarship. I would say sit with your parents, talk through it if they have any plan. Worst come worst, you might have to do your undergrad here and then consider masters or PhD in the US because they give a much higher amount of scholarship in those areas. However, there are still few institutions, but you need to think that it's horribly competitive and I mean that cannot be your only option for your admission. Yes, you can think like that. Okay, I'm gonna sit for the exam of IBA and the syllabus looks same. Let's try both. You can approach it that way, but you shouldn't engage yourself to that only full ride or full need institution only and then get frustrated about it. Protya, what's your take in this question?
Okay, great. So it's a really important thing to talk about, as cost is the most important thing in applying in US or others. But there's also reality check, right? So the reality check is that it's not really easier to get a full ride or something. Let me give you the clear vision. Okay, so the clear vision is, for the last year, the legit full ride was only given by New York University of Abu Dhabi campus. Only New York University's campus in Abu Dhabi, they give the full ride, means full ride. Now you can think that, okay, this year we'll apply to Abu Dhabi for this full ride scholarship, right? But there is still a but, and that but is they just changed their policy a little bit. If you check out their Abu Dhabi campus's website, they in the past year they just write that in bold letters that we are not need aware at all. There will we are just need blind, but they have just erased that thing from their website this year. Just erased. So if you just think that last year they give and you didn't saw the last year's website, you are just watching this year website and you are thinking that okay, this can be the website. No, the last year they had bold written, and I just got the insights from some NYU ads and some things that maybe they will not give that much this year. Also, the application pools are getting higher and higher uh, every year in NYU AD or something. So only maybe there are thousands or thousands of applicants this year. But if we talk about full 100% legit, uh, full ride reading in obvious USA, not Qatar, not Abu Dhabi, nowhere in USA. There are maybe only two or three, two or three students this year who are going with somehow full ride. Okay, still they have to pay their own flight, they have to pay their own like personal cost or miscellaneous cost, they have to pay their own book cost and their maybe the insurance, health insurance. So is still the, if you just add these four things, it will be maybe more than $3,000 to $4,000 a year. Is still, if you get a near about full ride. Okay, after this, if we talk about a need meet, yeah, your need can be met, right? Maybe you have a EFC of 8,000 to 15,000 in universities. If I talk about the normal range of EFC, that can be a good number of EFC or good EFC, that is somewhere between 8,000 to 15,000. If your EFC is lower than 8,000, it's little bit low EFC, and above 15, yeah, you have a good EFC. Okay, so getting
Please
a
tell us what
lower,
is EFC, Protya.
okay, yeah, EFC is estimated family contribution. So you have to also think about your estimated family contribution. Sometimes students just think that studying abroad is just like paying or just a expense, not the expense, it's the investment. We just can't get it that paying a foreign education or higher education in abroad is not just a miscellaneous expense, it's a investment, right? So what happens that I have is like I am working with many students this year about study abroad. So what they says that their family, like I question them one thing, please say that what your family like just pay for you every month for this SSCR or HSCR. They says that maybe where near about 30 to 40,000 per month. So 30 to 40,000 per month means near about 4.8 to 5 lakhs a year with all your books, all your dresses, all your travels and etc. It's near about 5 lakhs a year. 5 lakhs a year means near about 6.5 to 7K EFC. That's near about a good EFC. But when I ask them about their EFC, they say maybe my EFC will be 1K a year. So I say that your parents are paying 7K for your SSC or HSC, but can't they pay for your higher education? They said that, Bhaiya, if I read in Khulna Varsity or Dhaka Varsity,
And also, let's not talk about if they go to North, South, East, USA, I will be
yeah,
independent university, Let's not talk about that.
yeah, obviously not. But still, for just SSC, HSC, they can pay 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs a year, but they are not ready to pay that amount for education in USA. So you have to make your parents think about that, because in our mind we have a like barrier. What is the barrier? If I study in Dhaka University, the cost will be in only 13 taka a month or a year. In Buet that will be 100 taka or 1000 taka. Then why we have to pay 5 lakhs taka a year? But just think of one thing, I am not like shorting or insulting any kinds of institution, but think of one thing, that if I talk about any kinds of international ranking, okay, the rankers don't even think to give universities a little rank in the list. There are thousands of universities in my country, but only four universities, two public and two private: Dhaka University, Buet, NSU, and BRAC. Only these 4 universities have their place at the bottom of the rank list. Beside this, not a single university from my country have a ranking of 5,000, 10,000, not the 10,000 rank. They don't at least fulfill the 5 criteria of ranking. So now you have to think that the world is getting harder day by day. The jobs are getting harder day by day. So paying a 5 lakh or 6 lakhs a month, or sorry, a year, which already your parents are paying for SSC or HSC. If you pay that for a higher education in USA or any other universities in anywhere in the world, that will give you a boost in your career. And so yeah, maybe this is all about EFC and cost. So talk with your parents that what will be their highest opportunity or highest thinking about your things, and also just calculate that what is going to be your per month cost if you are in Bangladesh for SSC or HSC. Then multiply by 20, 12, and you will already get that what your parents are paying for SSC, HSC. Then you can easily estimate your family contribution. Yeah, this is all about family contribution and etc.
Okay, via my EFC is only 4K USD per year. So where should I apply? Should I only apply to those colleges which meet 100% demonstrated need of international students? Please via elaborate that, because most Bangladeshi families is similar to me. Well, we have already talked about it. We have a few
Yeah,
more areas to cover. You can
obviously.
send the question to Edvive moderator, and they will send it to me or Protya, and we can have an appointment and discuss about it later. So, Protya,
Obviously.
now I want to. We have more than 10 minutes actually. I want to touch base on two very important things. One, college research. How did you approach the college research? Because we know that there are more than 4,000 accredited institutions in the US, and most of, like, half of them for undergrad. So how did you approach, and also how did you also search for the financial aid or scholarship? So I think that would be our last topic for this afternoon. So you can go ahead, Bhaiya.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So yeah, college research is one of the thing that should be your own. Okay, like your college research cannot be done from any organizations or anyone, any like Facebook page or something. For the last few days or last couple of months, I am watching that maybe there are some upgrowing pages or some groups, small, they are saying that I will suggest you some universities and just apply. Okay, but don't think of that. Your college research should be yours. Yeah, you can take help of mentors, because mentors have the proper insights about the reality of that university. But if you just go and watch a group and you are getting one name of an university and you are just applying to that, don't ever do that. Think of your profile, yeah, of your own self, and then go for the university. For university applications research or making the college list, I give students a few insights. First of all, yeah, think of your EFC, right? If you have your EFC on your table, right? Now make your own profile. You have your own profile. Now if you are trying to apply using Common App, then you can go to Common App. Then after going to Common App, you will see that maybe there is 932 universities in Common App. So already the number of universities are lesser, as you are going to apply only using Common App. So all universities in Common App, you will get their names there. Now try to select about your thinking of your financial aid categories, then your scholarships categories, then your international student bodies, then are they obviously they for male or female, because in US there are many girls colleges. Sometimes many colleges these are not dedicated for girls, but 90% of their student bodies are girls. In contrast, also there are some universities where 90% are boys. So you just have to think about that. After thinking that, then you have to choose about your states. Like maybe you have your cousin or your relative in some state, and you want to live beside those state to have a communication or relation with them. Or maybe this can also cut off your cost, because room and board to live with your family members in USA, living in USA, then your cost will cut off, maybe with 5 to 6 thousand a year about your room and board charge, or more than that. So after cutting this, you will see that the list is already half of 9,900. Maybe it will be 400 or 300. Now think about their CDS. CDS is common data set. Go to their common data set. Then where you will find, just get one name and check about their common data set. Okay. So you will just search in Google and you will get their common data set. In that common data set, you see that how is their international body, does they give any kinds of financial aid, what's their acceptance rate, is that highly competitive or not, is it possible for you to get in the highly competitive or not. Then uh, maybe about their financial aid, they like directly say that are they getting to say or fill up your 100% demonstrated need or not, or they are going to need meet or a partial scholarship, what will be their full scholarships, all are written on their website. So just go and check out their website. You will see that sometimes students just mess up. How? Like they just go to Google and search that scholarship amount of this university, and they will see that okay, they give $52,000 a year, and they just think that okay, 52,000 means 45 lakhs a year. It's huge. Okay, I'll apply. But their real cost is 72,000 a year. Now you have $20,000 deficit. What you will do with that deficit, right? So what is the main factor here is just go to their CDS and watch that what will be the after cost aid, after cost scholarship and aid. This will properly given on their website, on their CDS, on Google's, on everything. So check out their, not their scholarship amount, check out their deficits and the deficit and calculate with your EFC, and already you will see that your college list is getting smaller and smaller every day. And by using all these tactics, you will just get a wholesome amounts of maybe near about 30 to 40, maybe 50 universities in your on your plate. Now try to talk with any expert. Maybe you can contact with Education USA, with Edvive, with anyone like me who applied last year and made a college research. So after getting your short list of 50 university or 40 university, and getting a little bit of your profile, we can give you a reality check of which university can be good for you or not. This is all about college research. And beside that, if I talk about the scholarships and financial aids, if like there are three types of universities in USA commonly, that is like public, state, and private. There is other community colleges. Don't, we are not talking about that. Beside, there is two systems. There is LSC or liberal arts colleges and research based colleges. So we have a bad thinking that it's college, liberal arts college, that means it's not university. But in USA, if you are going to Harvard University, you will just read in a college of science or college of engineering, Wharton college of business. You will just read in a particular college of that university. University is basically for post graduation. After your undergraduation, for your post graduation or PhD, grads, masters, that will be in your university. So liberal arts colleges are basically for core STEAM subject, with being a real human or like dedicated in just STEAM subjects, STEAM thinking, that can, okay, why do LSs are so low rank? Okay, LSs are never low rank. This is the thinking of you guys that you are checking LS's ranking in university rankings, right? check off the LSE ranking. Amherst is the best LSE in the world. It's number one, and getting accepted in LSEs like Amherst is harder than getting accepted in Harvard. But when you will check about the rank of uh, Amherst in university list, that will be 968. But that's not true. If you check about below it will be 100,011 or something. But in their LSE list is 35. So what is the difference is LSE is basically for undergraduation. So the criteria will be fulfilled using undergraduation, not using the post graduation. In post graduation you have more papers, because for a PhD you have to finish a paper. After finishing a paper you will get higher amount of citations. What is citations? When someone will use your paper in their own paper, that will be citation. So these are some common criteria when the universities which have their post graduations, they just achieve those things. But you have to search your LSE rank for the liberal arts colleges, not for their universities. Okay, so the scholarship. So for public and state universities, you will not get any kinds of financial aid being an international student, because public university and state universities have only financial aid for their federal students or the students of their US, their domestic use students. But in private university you will get financial aid. So in private, public university, state university and private university all have scholarships. Okay, so scholarships can be your presidential scholarships, then the dean's scholarship. These are the common higher ranked scholarships based on your academics, your ECAs, your profiles, and etc. Okay, besides this there are some scholarships based on your SAT score. These are the scholarships. with the scholarships with the scholarships in private university we will also get a financial aid package. Like maybe you are getting a $40,000 scholarship and a $10,000 financial aid. Okay, but in the public university you will only get the scholarships, not the financial aid. So you have to think of that before applying in public or private or state, about all their available scholarships or their financial aid. Sometimes their loan policies, as some universities in USA, they give some loans from their own. That's not any kind of federal loan, that's not any kind of bank loans, nothing. The loans are given from particularly that university. Like Beloit has their own loan service. So there are many universities, they give their own loans. Beside that there are work policies, but their students have a misconception about like loan like work policy. They think that okay, I'll work everywhere and make money and like finance my things or everything, but it's totally restricted for you to work off campus without the OPT or CPT. And for OPT and CPT you still have to wait for second year or third year for making that OPT CPT. OPT CPT is just a practical hand training for a practical life in a company like a co-op. But beside that you can only work for 20 hours a week only on campus. Beside on campus you can't work in a, not in a coffee shop also, because if you are caught in working in a coffee shop, be an international student, they will just book a flight for you, they will just red stamp your visa, and they will just send you back to your country. Nothing else will work. So yeah, don't think of that. You will just get to work on campus. And also for big universities, on campus jobs are also sometimes 50-50 chance to get. But for us small colleges with a small student body, maybe there will be one or two jobs always available for you if you have the potential to work. So yeah, these are all the scholarships, financial aid, the work policy. And lastly, the loan policy. This is all. Yeah, 20K EFC can be a good EFC for applying USA. Okay, great.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah, we have
I,
already answered this question.
I mean, I cannot. I don't know about the students, but I can listen to Protya the whole day. He's a resource tank. My goodness. From undergrad to grad, even citation, he has knowledge of everything. I mean, I feel honored to be with you in the same platform. It's really admirable, Bhaiya, that how much you have pushed yourself to learn all these things, and it's really shows your admiration and you're motivated and you're hardworking. Amazing. We could
Thanks a
go
lot.
for this session the whole day, like I said, but unfortunately our time is over. But even there are even 5 students who listened to Protya and took some knowledge out of it, it would be a success for us. So please, uh, yes, studying in a CS in a LSE can be a good option. A lot of LSE has wonderful STEM programs. You just need to do your
Yeah.
research.
that whether they how good is there is, right? Bhaiya, is it possible to bear US education cost by taking a student loan and pay back that after getting a job? There are two different things here. Student loan, not all the institution will give you loan to the international students, and also you might not get the opportunity to work there. You know, it's not certain. Yes, OPT and CPT is different, but H1B visa, which helps you to get job and stay there, it's not that easy. It's a matter of luck too. There is a lottery system also involved here. So let's not go there. I believe we have covered what we tried. There are many things which can be covered, but for today, last question: how to calculate the exact COA of a college? Cost of attendance means your tuition fee, living fee, and health benefits. Besides that, if the institution have anything else, you can get in the website. But basic CO means that these three. I'm loving that there are so many questions. But tell
Yeah.
something about student employment in USA, like earning, working on campus. All right.
you need to remember, which Protya mentioned, that you cannot get your tuitions or living fees out with working in the campus. Maybe you can go for few special meals, movie tickets, buy a fancy shoe. That's it. You cannot think that you will work in an academic office or gym or library, and then with that you'll be covering your tuition and living. Absolutely not. So 20 hours, like Protya mentioned, that is the amount. But again, it depends on the availability in that campus. A lot of students will apply, how competent you are. So once you go there, you will figure out these things. So thank you, Protya, for joining today with me in this session. I look forward to have many sessions with you, actually, because you certainly cut my job. So yes, amazing. Last words for the students, Protya, and we'll say bye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks to Mushfiq Bhaiya, thanks to Edvive, thanks to Education USA for the full like 4 different live-based boot camps. As I am a little part of the boot camp, being a student or reality check part of the student body, but we have the uh, counselors or admissions officer or everyone from USA, from different Education USA, from all over the world and etc. in these boot camps. So yeah, Education USA and Edvive collaborating with each other and having these boot camps, it's really a honor for me to be here and speak a little bit or maybe sometimes many things here. Yeah, and one thing I should say that if you are just thinking about education in USA or education abroad, just give 100% of you, because it really sucks everything from you before giving you a proper admission in USA or giving a full package in USA, because like it's not a easy thing than getting in Bangladesh universities. Like, just you have to think that universities are always universities. They are having their ranks, they are having their reputation because of their students. So if you are trying to getting in a higher institution, that means you have to give that much effort to get into that. So try harder, and I believe that whoever just was this live from Edvive page, or maybe from another groups, maybe from my own page, anywhere, they can just think of it more and more, check it out, and yeah, that will be a clear vision. You will get maybe a full vision from a student's background. And as I tried to cover everything. Thanks to Mushfiq Bhai, thanks everyone, and maybe I will try to be with Education USA on my page once in future, as I am also working with all this abroad education. Thanks.
Absolutely. I look forward for that collaboration. Thank you so much. Thank you, Edvive. Thank you, Protya. Those who've been watching, good luck. Stay safe. Bye. Take care.
Bye.